But what were one of the things, Mousy, that you didn't enjoy about it?
I'm sorry.
What were one of the things that you didn't enjoy about it?
It was a learning process the whole time I was with him. Because like I said, you didn't know this man, and being around such an artist of that stature, you got to either have tough skin or be able to say, okay, I got to get away from this situation. To the time that I came in, he had finished all his craziness by that time. So I only witnessed maybe one or two scenes, and I'm like, okay. And he got me with he saw my approach to what I was getting ready to do, and it was funny. And at the same time, like I said, he's a smart man, and I learned from it. So I think he was out on one of his little binges, and I said, well, okay, I can't take no more of this. And I took my drumsticks and put them down on my floor, Tom, and I'm getting ready to walk. He said, nah, son, you don't want to do that. He said, don't fire yourself. Let me fire you. Your chances are better coming back. So he knew I was getting ready to quit, but had I quit, he was never going to let me work with him again.
Wow.
But had he fired me, my chances of coming back, let him do it.
Wow.
But don't let me fire myself.
So did he fire you that day?
Oh, no. I think I got a raise.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
So, what were some of the more challenging things that came with being a member of James Brown's band?
Well, it was things like that, or not being able to play the part that he wanted. He wasn't a guy that used profanity, but you would wish I wish he would cuss me out. Because he would say, I got two drummers and I can't make one, things like that.
Wow.
Like, God, come on, man. So,
Can't
you learn
keep it on the one with
fun.
two.
That's right. Yeah. So, but it was a beautiful experience.
Did you know what you were getting into? When you came on board, did you know what it was? Was James Brown already?
I had worked with an artist similar to him, which was Wilson Pickett. So I had a taste of working with him.
Wicked Wilson Pickett.
For about 4 years. And he was definitely the Wicked Wilson Pickett. God bless him.
Mm-hmm.
It was a beautiful thing. So he set me up, and I thought I would be going into more of that kind of situation with Mr. Brown at the time, but it was a little different. His was a little subtle. Pickett's was like, what are we gonna make it out of here? So he was worse than James Brown.
Wow. So what other artists besides James Brown and Wilson Pickett have you played with?
Lloyd Price, Peaches and Herb,
Ooh.
Christian McBride. Now today, I'm working with Christian McBride doing some things. I work with him with D'Angelo and Angelique Jolie, Aloe Black. That was one show that we did together with Christian McBride. And right now I'm doing American Vinyl All Stars with Jeff Skunk Baxter from the Doobie Brothers Steely Band.
Wow.
Doing a little bit of everything. So, it all stemmed from working with Brown, and, well, not just him, Skip Mahoney and the Casuals, back home, D.C.
Oh, my gosh. I know somebody. Now, not many about Skip Mahoney and the Casuals. Oh, my Lord.
Wow.
My wife loved them. Oh, my God. I'm glad she's not sitting here. She would, what? Somebody play with Skip Mahoney and the Casuals?
Yeah.
That's Wherever You Go. That's me playing on that.
Wherever you
no.
go.
That's it.
I will follow.
Oh, boy.
My God. You done got him started.
See, Ambezi don't know nothing about that. You don't know nothing about that.
I know a little sign. I know a little sign.
Tell you the truth, I don't know nothing about it either. Throw best when they got Google. but I do have that song, that record. Whoa,
please.
There you go.
No more. Shut your face. Shut your face, then bad.
I'm sorry. Excuse me. Get all excited. I'm an old garage band bassist. Can't read a note. Can only stay on E. That's it. After they got off E and got key, I'm done.
There you go. But you're a funk man. I can tell.
Oh yeah, love that stuff.
Yeah,
love that.
Wow, boy, oh boy, you got people to singing in here already, Mousy.
Right, like it's American Idol up in here.
Watch out, see, everybody don't know Skip Mahoney Candles.
Y'all didn't know.
That's right.
Look, we even got Miss Susan, the station manager, in here.
In his singing, you know it's bad.
All right, hey, that's right.
That's right. So you know you hit a chord now, man.
Right. But see, that's what I love. That's what I love about the energy of the music that comes from that era. It was just contagious. You didn't have a choice but to bob your head, especially with all the live instruments and the energy that the performers would bring. Like, it was really a special time. It was really a special time. You just said it, Ambeezy. You just said it because of, and I said it a long time ago, being a drummer. But I said once they brought these drum machines in, they're taking the heartbeat, a real heartbeat out. Because everybody played to a drummer, you know, but we were on one accord. Right.
Now you're trying to play to a machine and trying to make it perfect. So some of that feeling is losing because you're thinking about it more so than playing about it. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I agree.
But you hit the nail on the head. You hit it. You know what's happening.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, I say that all the time because often the chief looks at me super crazy at the things that I say sometimes because he can't believe that I can pick up on certain things. But we were watching a clip. Who was the performer that we were watching the other day, Dad? Or Chief, when we were, it was a live performer, and one of my friends was watching the same clip a little later. It might have been somebody like Eartha Kitt or something like that, and she made a statement saying like, wow, like it's so raw, like the way that she was singing was so raw, like why aren't there artists like that now? And the truth is there are artists like that now who have that range and have that soul, but all of those little nuances that you can't really imitate or that you can't really recreate, that comes from just the flow of being with a band. And it's like you're missing that. When people go into the studio now, they edit songs down to the breath. They don't even want to hear you take breaths.
That's right.
So it's pretty crazy.
Right. They take all the other stuff out, the nuances that, you know, like you said, the little breath that may be just a little or anything,
right?
You know?
That gives you that feeling.
They take that out, they take it out, and you know that's what I don't like about a lot of the stuff nowadays. But it is today. I mean, it's you know, it's like a lot of people are making music through their computer more so than through an instrument.
Right. Well, this has been a great discussion so far, and I want everybody to keep it locked in on this discussion because we're talking about James Brown. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Straight No Chaser. We'll be right back.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in physics, I learned that I'm a loser.
Today in school, I learned that I'm ugly and useless. And in gym, I learned that I'm pathetic and a joke. In history, I learned that I'm trash.
Today in school, I learned that I have no friends. In English, I learned that I make people sick. And at lunch, I learned that I sit on my own because I smell. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me.
In biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid. And in math, I learned that I'm trash.
The only thing I didn't learn in school today?
The only thing I didn't learn
is why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
The path to happiness is not the easy one, but taking drugs will not make it easier. Many people got lost and end up losing their life to drugs. If you or anyone that you know is within that path, don't be afraid to seek for help. Visit www.adk.gov.my for information related to drug abuse. So, know your path. This message is brought to you by the National Anti-Drugs Agency.
Where I wanted to quit, in the back of my mind, I told myself, I have to quit. And just that day when I reached for that cigarette, I'll never forget it, with my son looking at me. And it was like a bolt of lightning hit me, where I finally realized the big picture of what year after year and cigarette after cigarette had done. And I said, that's it. I'm done. I quit. Took him a whole pack, brand new pack. Took him, threw him out the window, and I don't litter. But that's it. I'm done. I quit. No, it's going to kill me. It's going to be cancer. But I don't have to make it sooner than it needs to be. He was shocked, and he says, I really hope you mean that,
Mom. You're listening to Straight No Chaser. So let's get back to your girl MBZ, Pastor C, Thin Bad, and the Chief.
Hey, good people. We are back from the break. We are still trying to keep it on the one from the one who kept it on the one for so long. I used to DJ myself. As I told you, I was an old garage band bassist. Just love music, all types of music, always have. It's the universal language. Everybody knows that. We're back with our discussion, folks, for the folks just joining us. If you don't know who we're talking to, we've got Robert Mousy Thompson, who is the drummer for James Brown and now drums with James Brown Experience, and has been keeping it on the one most of your life. I remember all the other groups that kind of came out during that time. There was Cameo and the Bar-Kays, and how some of these groups were so intertwined, because the Bar-Kays used to be, I think the members who went on to be the Bar-Kays used to be, or part of them used to be the band that played for Otis Redding. Am I right? It was Isaac Hayes. Okay, the Bar-Kays. Yeah. Now, who was it? Now, someone Mays used to play for. Anyway, we can get into that later. But I was just everything was so connected. But all these other groups, Kool and the Gang, and all of them, without James Brown, I don't know where any of them would come from. But one of the groups that was obviously, as you mentioned earlier before the break, that was so really heavily not only influenced by James Brown, but kind of infiltrated by folks who had played with James Brown, was Parliament Funkadelic. And that was one of them. You talk about that. Their whole motto was keep it on the one. They took that to that next phase. So
they took it to the next phase. Yeah,
that's right. so Bootsy Collins we talked about, the horns, the horny horns.